Build up your character. 3, 2, 1, ready, and action.
Noti tujatwa masiku onse. Endo punzira new design ni tokali.
Mbuya ni kutrastani mwe.
Ufuna vazi ngati.
Hao ni pesa nchofika tukwacha chana.
Tukwacha?
Tukwacha chana.
Okay. After foto yetu. So na ikachetu ngono tungono. Ni kutenga chetu ngono ati. Kwa sila. Oh. Na wamama wa sarapansi.
Iyo chite. That cannabis, it has to be hidden. So mfunika muende mnyumba mtenge not panje. Then mkachoka, we have to see it. Kosa ibisa yoneki.
Uto. Watu vera.
Na mama tulungila chana. Mbuya ndi mwechikali.
Zambona. Upasa kuna venango wapwera mwapwera kwa wambiri.
This scene is about this woman. She's in business of making sniffing tobacco, which she sells. Not only that, she deals with also like cannabis, selling to these young ones, and also like young ladies who come and buy sniffing tobacco. I decided to work on this topic because it's really a major problem and challenge, especially here in Zambia, where women, especially young ladies, it has become like part of life. Everyone is going for it. Others, they are saying no, it gives you strength, the blood overflows faster in somebody's body, but it has the major side effect on which is affecting, for instance, like lungs, livers, kidneys. To women, like those with the pregnant, they've not realized that actually it's also affecting the newborn babies. They lose weight and so forth. They are mentally disturbed, yes.
Okay.
So the purpose of this is to sensitize so that they stay away. Actually, right now, I'm heading to Chazanga, where we've been training youths and adults in filmmaking, where students are competing within the community at institutional level. But it has not been easy since we started this operation, because we came to realize that to build film industry in Zambia, first thing, we have to start with education. People have to be educated in film making, and then that's when they'll be able to realize that actually film making is not part-time, but full-time employment.
I know you're gonna dig this.
My God is blessed, no man can curse. One thing that I know is the one I see me for. But in a little bango, in a little Panama, in a little Beshi Sipenda, she left for my friend, she benda. Nalelo kwatu ni kuku, Bakajunya leta cheki kuku. Mulungu wanga mubasunge, kama jelasi wakaone. Mama yelele, mama yelele, mama yelele, mama quarters, mama yelele, mama yelele, mama yelele, mama yelele,
Actually, we are in Chazanga, where we are training. Actually, this idea was born in church because of a lot of challenges church members used to face. Now I came to realize that for how long will people be helped? So the best is to come up with skills which will help them. That's how SHILOH Arts Training Institute was born within church, and it was registered in 2011 as a non-profit making organization whose purpose is to look into training and empowering youths in filmmaking and other artistic works. The challenges that we have faced as an organization, there are many. As we started, because my vision was to see that I help a lot of youths, and my passion is for the youths to make sure that we share the knowledge that we have in filmmaking, as well as to include other international filmmakers to help and assess to see that we have good actors and actresses who will be able to carry this vision for film industry within our country. And other challenges is finances, equipment to use as for organization, so that we'll be able to foster this project further, not only in Lusaka but even outside this province.
Whether it's a film festival, but there's a component of training in it for capacity building, we do assist, and we normally use that as a stopgap measure, or more or less like a small amount of money which inject to leverage on what they already have sourced from other funding sources. Now, sometimes the challenges with this fund is sometimes as a council we are grant aided, so sometimes the grant comes on time, sometimes it comes late, sometimes it doesn't come. So, ideally, for the project selection committee that sits to approve or disapprove the applications which have come, the challenges also are the proposals that come in. Some of them are responsive, and some of them are non-responsive. And then again, when the accounts personnel advise us to say so much money has come in, let the project selection committee sit. It will be sometimes maybe a 50,000, sometimes 60,000. So those monies will work against sometimes maybe 20 applications coming in. So it's a bit of a challenge sometimes to the project selection committee to sit down and ascertain as to which proposal is most responsive and how much impact with this, whether it's a festival, whatever they are requesting for, how much impact will it have? How many people will they reach using the same little monies which we have? Because what we always endeavor is, in as much as it is little, it should be able to reach so many people. A lot of information should be able to reach so many people, whether it's in a training, whether it's in a festival. How many people have come in that space just because of that little money which we have been able to assist in their budget.
The film policy has just been given to the Ministry of Tourism and Arts, and that puts us as National Arts Council in a very important position, because we are advisors to government on the arts. So at the level we are operating at is at the policy level, strategy level, as opposed to working with individuals. So as National Arts Council, we were instrumental in coordinating the actual writing of the film policy, the documentation, collection of information. We provide advice when any issue regards film is there. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, where the actual broadcasting, most of the legislation sits. So as the National Arts Council, we don't really have much in terms of regulation, power in the regulation of the film industry, because that sits with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The National Arts Council, as far as regulation goes, it's just really to do with the promoters, the arts promoters, and those people who want to do the business of art. So the regulation, the censorship and that sort of thing, it falls under Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. We do have an artist development fund, which we do provide to artists who need help. However, that fund does not fund production. And as you know, film requires heavy investment. So that puts filmmakers at a bit of a disadvantage. But government has already seen that that's a problem, and they have actually, within the film policy itself, made a provision for a film development fund. So in the future, in the near future, there will be that assistance from the government for production. And that policy of non-production, it stems across all art disciplines. It's not only film, it's fashion, every art discipline. We don't get involved in production. So we do provide government liaison services. Therefore, it's possible that if somebody comes through to the council and says, oh, I would like to assist a filmmaker, we will connect that filmmaker with them. So we're not, I mean, our area is not only funding, but also linkages. If someone comes through with a fund, we say, okay, filmmakers come here, and we do, you know, provide them with that assistance. We do give funding for things like maybe movie premieres, but we give a limited amount for premieres. And any other, anything else in the value chain which we feel is strategic. Last year we had a literary festival, and in that literary festival we had a component of film script writing, because we've seen that there's a big gap in the film script writing field of expertise, and it can be filled through capacity building.
And lucky enough, we have now the director from Cinemask Films from Canada, who is within our country, and we are working with him with the SHILOH Arts, and he has taken up the class to make sure that they receive proper trainings in script writing.
When we are watching the storekeeper, scene one, what did you see first? Huh? Black? Yes, after black, there is an image there. What is it? What do you see? Can you describe the environment? What do you see? Nisanga, or it's downtown Lusaka, or in describe it, huh? Pardon? Farmland? Oh, farmland. Yes. Okay, in the farmland, what do you see?
Trees.
Is it inside or outside? Because it is outside, I would say, during the day, okay, day, outside. Do you think, is it in the morning or in the afternoon?
No, it's afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
Here I'm trying to inform the director that scene is supposed to be played during the day and should be outside, and it should be in the afternoon. This is the information I'm giving him. He has to know. I'm happy to be among my fellow participants here who would like to learn some new techniques in the movie industry. So I'm offering right now a workshop on script writing. And we started on Tuesday. Today is the last day. So I hope that by the end of this workshop, they will have some basic knowledge in script writing. I know that script writing is a very long process. It can take up to 1 year to 2 years, but at least they have the basic knowledge. And then it has been a pleasure for me to work with Pastor Chisenga and the producer of SHILOH Art. And I hope that this can't only be the first time we meet. It's the beginning of a long journey. I hope that in the near future we can come up with a project which we can start over. They are happy to learn new techniques, and I'm also happy to share what I know, to share my knowledge with them.
The whole workshop added an impact to my life, looking how the facilitator facilitated the whole production, the script writing and everything. He gave us information that were clearly, his explanation was clear to my understanding, that I had no difficulties to understand what he was explaining, and him giving examples and using all sorts of words and ideas to explain what he is teaching and facilitating. It has really been a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to learn more and hear more from him as we continue this journey and workshop. And I believe to say that with what we learned, I believe to say that we are heading forward to change in the industry, in the movie sector. Thank you very much.
So 5 years from now, I hope nzafika patali sizankala same nga bamene nenzediri kudala. Nyamika pazamene tapunzira chokera pa Tuesday kufika lero tapunzira vambiri muli filmmaking. Niyamikira maningi kuli babeni sitenzoziwa kuti kuno kwachazanga chizalandirako na ku Canada. So pasiku yale apa so niyamika maningi pali vamene vatipunzisa niyamikira.
Choyamba niyamikira wa Pastor Chisenga panchito ikulu yamene basebenza kutandizira abantu. Tiyamikira naise kuno kwachazanga sitenzoziwa vili vonse kamba kabeve taziwa vintu vambiri. Palasti batireterako na imwe babeni mwabotipunzisa konchezerapo pali vamene batipunzisa. Paichi niyamikira na pane mzachoka kuno kwenda kwanu ku Canada. Mufunika mkawaoza ati kwachazanga kuli bazimayi ni chipolopolo. Nsimbi zolimba kakyosa fyumu mwishitoyopa kuti yachoka ku Nigeria.
I'm happy that all the students are responding positively, and everyone is able to understand and they are getting whatever is being taught to them. And we say thank you so much for Mr. Ben as a director, executive producer, all the way from Canada, just to find himself in SHILOH. I know everything happens for a purpose, and it's God's plan. Sometimes God does things that we do not expect. He does it in His own way. So we really appreciate for Mr. Ben, because I think where students were behind, he has helped us, including myself, to learn certain things that I never knew.
Kwena ndetotera sana pa kutusambilisha i workshop. Pano tatwaishiwe kutira kuti twasambilira iyo. Lelo kuluserwa kwaresa atusambilisha atupera babeni bafuma ku Canada baisa atusambilisha po ukulingana nefi tusambilisha batata bachisenga kona perera mkwai.
We have learned from his experience, his difficulties, which has been an encouragement to us as an organization. He has encouraged us how to conduct the trainings, how to build filmmakers, how to build youths out there, not only centered in one place, but to move out, because many people out there, they don't know about filmmaking and they need trainings. And I know from now on, we will never be the same. I think we'll move furthermore, and I'm looking forward that this partnership will grow further and we'll work as a team. And I know we'll hold on to him so that we'll suck more to build filmmaking in Zambia. The purpose of here is to groom the youths, to make sure that they are trained into filmmaking, they have that knowledge in filmmaking, particularly in Chazanga.
My names are Adam Ntele. I'm the secretary for the group in this zone.
I'm Ida Makale. I'm the coordinator in this group.
My name is Ruth Mugala, assistant coordinator.
I'm Janet Chandara. I'm the member of this group.
I'm Mata Gwamba. I'm the member of this group.
Kedis Mlenga, Chama, member Mungu.
Dixon Kamshanka is my name.
Mufuzi Taonga are my names. I'm a member of this group.
Yeah, Zubamo, I'm here to join.
Florence Ping, member of this group.
My name is Gift Mlenga. I'm the member of this group. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Elizabeth Butelo. I'm a member of this group. I'm a student.
My name is Gift Lunga. I'm a student.
My name is Matthew Simuka. I'm a student.
My name is Michelle Chomba. I'm a student and wish to be a great actress.
My name is Jane Chomba. I'm a student.
My name is Alice Mwanza. I'm a student in this group.
We have to learn about the standard of so that at the end of the day, after Tapunzila, that was some film, then we are able to even to sell ku TV, ku Zambezi Magic, we have Zambezi, and we have other TV stations. So na instance ya training now we need to have film competition at institutional level. So inaambira kwa Kanyama, from Kanyama, John Howard. So John Howard tuenzo sisi za maitu, on which we were with my visitors, and today tapuela kuni. So that we are able to see how to motivate each other. Our chosa, mafilm now, then we are able to compete. So it has not been easy. That's why we are sini waneka. You have to know time. No time, honestly speaking. Uzo kwa kwili wako na huku, then kugana kuri hivi ni sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. But all in all, film the patience, and we keep on improving it. So we are about 13 zones. 13. So it's not easy. And I know Kutima films I may teach it because of short period which was not supposed to be the case. You put maybe one film is a short 45 or 50 minutes. You have to shoot in one day. So just as he said, for you to keep on repeating the same mistakes, time is going. You have hired a camera, so it becomes a challenge. But you can do it if it's not in competition and so forth. So competition, it makes us to work hard, to be focused as we are competing with others. Before we think of Zambezi Magic, we think of any other channel where they buy content and so forth. Chamechifunika first, we have to prepare ourselves and let our works be criticized. Let people who are coming to build us, because acting doesn't take one day. It involves a lot of things which we have to learn. To build our character, we have to build, we need to have that enthusiasm Self-interest, acting, it starts with me. I need to have interest. And acting is about dealing with the reality. Before we go any further, being the first day, Lusaka Mapali Zambian history and filmmaking. Which is Zambia now married, basically few money. Because acting exclusive chokera, so we write stories concerning the happening within my area, concerning the happening within my neighborhood. So what you see happening is what will affect the other one. It's unfortunate like what happened yesterday with John Howard. Just behind the school. It was, and those are people we know very well. No shika man, but what was the cause of that? So that's how we develop stories. What happened for him to kill that young baby and bury it at the backyard? So Ndema stories, when we talk of African stories, we have to tell it in our own way.
Now the family wants to be picking to come and see how we look at it. We are keeping the child. Now we have said, no, we are all human beings. If you cannot accept our daughter, we will not accept you in.
And all things that you are doing in Ghana school, then you can come back and take the game with you. That's how the story ends.
It is a story that I saw in the experience with my own eyes. It is called What Trust Can Do. There were these two ladies who were friends since childhood. They had been friends all along. They trusted each other in everything. So upon the other friend was married, the other one was not. So the friend saw how progressive the other friend was, that they had to build the house with the husband. The husband was promoted at work, and everything started going according in life. Then jealousy came in. Now I'm in this group because I want to learn a lot. I'm learning a lot. As they say, saying from Shakespeare that knowledge is power. So I want to learn a lot because I've always dreamt of being an actress. So me learning the SHILOH arts is a great opportunity of achieving my goals in life. I see myself as a strong, great actress, a good story writer, and a producer, a director at the same time because of the knowledge that the SHILOH arts are imparting on me.
It's been my passion since childhood to become an actress. Watching a lot of movies from Nigeria, and actresses and actors are successful there. And this has been my dream. I hope that in this group I've joined to get me somewhere.
It has always been a dream for me to make it in acting. It's in me. So when I heard that they are hosting the 20 years, I said to come so that I can see the way forward. I'm seeing myself being a producer, a writer, and all that. The kind of training that I want to get from here is knowing how to write, how to be a good writer, a good director, and a good actor.
I've decided to come and join this group so that this group can help me to deviate from bad companies, bad activities such as drinking alcohol and so on.
As time goes on, I would like to empower our youths and encourage more youth to come in because this is for them. It is for them that we are doing this. And also to empower our women in Zambia to tell their stories, their challenges in everyday life in their own way. If the government can come in and look into this talent that we like to tap into and fund it like they are funding everyone else. If you have anything out there, a story, any challenges, these are the things we want to bring out to the world, bring out to all Zambians. so that we know how to look into our challenges in everyday life. And then that way we'll be able to work together in unity, and we collaborate and solve our problems as Zambians.
So each one has mastered his law, especially like for each scene. Once they go through the script, because they've been practicing and practicing, and whatever they are saying there, it's in the script. Oh, so the next scene is this side.
Venangu akakuona mwanga mwana tichitira paona mwanga utichita vintu viri benzero. Ati wakuru wonse mungajoine group ya mpeze kapatu wafana sifunika mwe wakuru. Mani nawazana tawe kaidi babaja wafana wapunzisa wafana wanzao. So ngati kufunika wakuru wachite ero iwe watenga mfana wampanga mkuru ishisichi wamba tawa mwe mkuru wapeze kapu. So venangu wama una munga utini masevera vaneti chite. But venangu wanzeru wama tengera popunzi.
Actually, I can say locations determine the standard that you want. It becomes a challenge sometimes. But when, for instance, if we are looking for a location, Zambians, for them to understand much about film, for them to offer you a location, it becomes a doubt of mind sometimes. So we normally ask from people we know. You know, the job we are doing, other people, it's difficult for them to understand what is the whole instance about film. When you are shooting, you are moving around, they would think like you are crazy. What are they doing, these guys? They have nothing to do apart from that and so forth. Why are they wasting time? It's really difficult for them to understand. Through film industry, we'll be able to disseminate information to the people. It's faster than being at the same position. For instance, like the movie that we have done, it's easier for everyone to learn at once. So for me, I thought it was something that would help me to disseminate information, to reach out to people through film. Not only that, because way back I used to tell stories to Sunday school, at church, when I was a youth that time, at my tender age. I used to tell them stories, and children used to love that. So whenever I'm telling them stories, they used to feel good. Sometimes they could visualize, and sometimes, you know, when I say, okay, if I'm not there on Sunday church, youths will complain until they see me. I'm there. Sometimes maybe in the process of training them, the pastor would require me to interpret in church. Those Sunday school, they will follow in church and say, no, we need him. So I came to realize that through telling stories on DVD, it will be one way of passing information to different levels of people, regardless of their culture, region, and creed, so forth. So I see myself, I think, to be to reach at a level where all things will become easy, especially in terms of training, production, and so forth. Because when you look at the equipment that we are using, we are just hiring.
Lusaka
your son? 15 years. Get 8. I am no child. But it's no 18 and above.
Actually, the software which I use to edit short practical movies for our student, I use this program, Adobe CS5, which I normally use. And the challenge that we face is especially on sound effect. It's really a challenge to us because we have to ask from other studios, especially those who are into music production and so forth, to make the sound for our short movies which we do produce. And it's really a challenge because especially like when it comes like on shooting, we lack a lot of things. Recording, sound, boom mics, cameras, all those we just hire. That's the reason why we decided like to reduce the cost, but on editing we are doing it for ourselves, because each time you bring in people to do, they will charge us a lot of money, on which as an organization we do not have, because what we've been, the organization is a non-profit making organization, and all that we do, it's from our own sacrifice to make sure that the program is moving on. It's not easy. It's really a challenge because it's like you have now 2 families. I have to make sure that I look after my family, they eat well, I meet the needs for my students, they have to go to school, we have to cater for other expenses, rentals and so forth. And then I have to look out there now for the institution to make sure that we meet the needs of the youths. Not only the youths whom we help, we also work with the people with disability to make sure that we meet their needs on the level of where we train them. We produce some short movies on which they will be able to use that to earn a living out of it. So it's really a challenge. And for me to move from here going to Chazanga, I spend a lot of money. Sometimes maybe we find ourselves we have no money for breakfast, but I have to make sure that I use the same money to go and meet the people right there in Chazanga. Then there is another one in Chawama. All these, since we have started it, and it's to us not to disappoint the youths, to make sure that we help them to acquire the skill in filmmaking and to lay a base for them where they can start and doing something for themselves to keep them busy.
My husband is a faithful man and he has been faithful to me, and I trust him. That's why even if I see him with other women, girls, I know that he is just doing his work. I offer him all the support in terms of financially, taking care of him, giving him whatever he wants, because I know that the work he's doing is not an easy job. So I'm always there with him to support him. I wish to see him successful because he's a hard worker. He works day and night because his dream is to have a big institution in Zambia. And so I would love to see him successful.
My life is about to mingle with people, with different people and youths. So my wife understands me better, and she supports me to make sure that what is within me is implemented to the people. All about is trust. When I'm out there, she knows that he has gone to do that project. When I'm back, she knows, okay, he's now back home. We talk about the issues of, because even what we do, we plan together. We plan together with her, and when I'm tied up, she's there to support me. Actually, what we are expecting from the government, we expect them to support this institution, because you know, film industry will be able to give more of GDP as it is in Nigeria, and we need the government also to help, so that through trainings, as we train more people, the job creation will be created to them. A lot of people find something to do, and one thing that we really need from them to help is a center, because right now we are based in 2 communities. We are moving from one point to another to make sure that we meet them. But what we want is that if we can have a center where we can establish this institution, we need more interaction with international filmmakers who have been there already, because we understand that Zambia, that is when it is getting, trying to get there in terms of film production. Up to now we are still struggling. They should come to a training institution, because that is the base, that is the foundation. Before they think of production houses and so forth, they should start from the root to identify which are these institutions dealing in film training and so forth. So that from institution level, once information is given how to do about it, then those people, as they graduate, they have full information, correct information, which will tally with international standard. And for us, it will be, we won't have difficulties even to deal with Zambezi, to deal with GoTV, to deal with the DSTV and so forth. My plans is to make SHILOH to be the big institution of film school in Zambia, where I'll be able to train more youths in filmmaking, and where we'll have more people with information in film training, and also to see that more people are trained, and to see into it that people that we are going to groom and train, to see them at international level competing with other filmmakers, not only about Nigeria, but we should think outside the box, like Hollywood and so forth. Nigeria, they have managed to connect themselves with Hollywood, and this is our prayer as well here. This is where SHILOH started, because it was registered in 2011. Then in 2012 we launched, and first students were trained from this office. We are renting it as an office at the same time as a class for training students. Yeah, for the moment we are not using this place. We moved to the private school, where one of the well-wishers, also what we are doing in the community, said, okay, you can be having the trainings here whenever you feel like to have trainings for the youths within this area. So currently that is where we are. Here, like this one, why we closed, we used to face a lot of challenges. We've been in the marketplace, a lot of disturbance, inconveniences and so forth. And this place we used to rent, because we as SHILOH, we believe in teamwork. We believe in collaboration, where we train actors, because we want to show them that actually in filmmaking you need different blends to come together and so forth. So what we do is that we look to those reputable people with a good background in filmmaking. We bring them in to assist us in training the students. For instance, like makeup in Zambia, when we consulted the National Arts Council, we were given this lady called Wadianawa. She did makeup in US, and we invited her to come and train the youths, especially like in Kanyama, where we started first before we came to John Howard. And then like in cinematography, we looked at those who are doing it. We involved in like Lee Mwewa, who came in. And then in acting, we called in Frankie Mbewe, who came in. And there is one also who came to facilitate from CBC TV station. This is Francis Kobe, who came to assist as well. And then in some other things, in my case, like acting and directing, I also participate where I feel like we have no resources to bring in others, because when they come, we have to pay them something like for the transport, a little that they can use as they go back. So whenever we feel like we have nothing that we can give them, I carry it on my own to make sure that I assist, and I make sure that they are well equipped until they graduate. For international, filmmakers for the first time. I think we had Mr. Benny, who came from Canada. He helped us. He has been so good, kind to us, and we have seen that he has a passion. We learned a lot of things from him, and from the need that he has seen, what we are going through, and the passion that we have as SHILOH Arts Training Institute for the youths within community, especially those who are less privileged. I believe he was also touched, and he thought of coming back, probably God willing, maybe next year, to see how he can assist us in film, also in management, and how to establish SHILOH Arts. We work as partners, and I think that is a plus to us as an organization, because being the film producer from Cinemask Films from Canada, I can confess to say is the first film producer who came actually to step a foot in SHILOH and to witness what he had, not only discussing on the table, but he has to make a sacrifice to follow and see if what we discussed the first time we met was the truth. And he followed and he lectured and he was touched. And for him, he was also actually said, I regret for me to know SHILOH at the last point when I'm about to go back to Canada. But we said, nevertheless, everything happens for a purpose.
SHILOH Arts have been coming through to the council for the past 3 years. They're project based in John Lane, which is a disadvantaged community, and they're providing skills to disadvantaged people. The council was very interested in that project because that's part of what we are about. We're about trying to reach those people who maybe others have not reached. We've been trying to support Pastor Chisenga as much as we can. Whenever we have any capacity building or any program within the council, which is like for all artists, we do invite Pastor Chisenga. And we've been watching him grow. I think from the time when he started to now, he's grown quite a bit. So that is as far as we've gone with SHILOH Arts. A very, very great project. And we really try as much as possible to give him as much support as we can.
My plans in the future, as for now, is to concentrate on acting as well as educating others about life's biggest needs, on how to believe in yourself and how to be self-motivative, yes, and confident on what you are doing.